Cam Rogers with you, Harris Rubenstein alongside. It's time to get into all of the latest NBA draft rumors. Some serious buzz right now. Harris, how about the Cavs wanting Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah, and again, we had so many YouTube comments saying, oh, Michael Porter Jr. is not going to get to the Cavs. He's not going to fall there. I understand that, but that was before the Combine. Now that the Combine is over, we've seen that Michael Porter Jr. might actually be able to play basketball again. I don't think he's going to fall to the Cavs. So we're going to give this one two heads. I know that they want him, but the real question is Michael Porter Jr. even going to be there at number 8 overall? They interviewed him at the Combine. He apparently really intrigues the Cavs. Of course he does. He would be a natural progression from LeBron James to the next generation of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have Larry Nance Jr., who's a nice young option. You keep Kevin Love. You add Michael Porter Jr. The scoring prowess is on the other guys, and you let Porter Jr. kind of grow inside the system. But he's not going to be there at 8 overall. I still think he's going to end up being a top 5 pick, and I really can't be convinced otherwise.
Let us know who you think will be drafted number 1 overall. Big time debate out there, as it always is year in and year out. We got Ayton, Michael Porter, Doncic, Marvin Bagley III.
I'm going to save my vote so I can yell at the Suns fans later when we get to their rumors.
Okay.
You Suns fans, I don't even know what to say anymore about you people.
All right, we'll get to the Suns. Let's talk some Lakers here. Do they want experienced players via the draft here, Harris?
Well, it would make a lot of sense because they had a lot of overall, can't find the right word, success with it the past couple years. They've done a really good job of being able to take some of those younger players that were kind of older in terms of college and bring them in. So we're giving this one 4 heads. They do want more experienced players, and this very much goes back to last year. They did such a great job with Kyle Kuzma and Josh Hart that Genie Bus wants to replicate what they did last year. Look, they have the 25th overall pick, and then they have another high pick in the second round. So if you're the Lakers, why go away from what works? She actually had a really interesting quote that fans get obsessed with these 18 and 19-year-olds who have a lot of stuff that they need to develop, a lot of, skills that they still have to develop at 18 or 19. But you draft a 21 or a 22-year-old, and all of a sudden, you have a player who's ready, who has legitimate NBA skills now, who can help you. Kyle Kuzma was overlooked because he was old, but he brought in a shooting prowess and a size to the NBA that someone like Lonzo Ball didn't have. Josh Hart, who had seen so much in terms of his just college basketball IQ, was able to come in and able to make an impact on the defensive side of the ball because he had so much basketball IQ and had so much experience. I would not be surprised if they drafted Jalen Brunson or Keita Bates-Diop. I think both of them would be great fits.
All right, so that's the rundown there with the Lakers.
And then we have this.
Yeah, they want experienced college players, but the Lakers made a promise to Mitchell Robinson. So we're giving this 3 heads. What's going on?
Oh, God. This is my problem with NBA teams. They find something that works. We do a lot of strategy recognition here at Chat Sports and pattern recognition and such. Here's a pattern recognition. You draft kind of juniors and seniors coming out of the draft and they do well for you. Do you know what we're going to do now? We're going to draft a guy who didn't play a second of college basketball last year and was such a head case that he committed to Western Kentucky, enrolled, didn't end up playing. His godfather got fired. Then he went away from Western Kentucky, then went back, then realized it was too late to play, then said he was going to transfer, didn't end up transferring, and then just took the year to prepare for the NBA draft? What? Very confusing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't take Mitchell Robinson. I can't believe that this is actually a headline. If this is true, I'm going to blow a gasket.
All right, let's go to rumor number 4 here on the list. Do the Knicks have the hots for Trae Young?
I called it. I said this last week that the Knicks were going to fall in love with Trae Young. They do, 100%. 4 heads. The Knicks absolutely have the hots for Trae Young. This is the least surprising thing that I have heard all week long. Madison Square Garden plus Trae Young is the best combination in the NBA. But again, he's not going to be on the board at 9 overall when the Knicks end up picking. He'd be a great combo with Frank, and this is for the YouTube people out there, Ntilikina. I did it. Or as I like to call him, Frankie Smokes. He'd be a great combination with him at the 2. Obviously a little bit more defensive prowess from Frankie there. You bring in Trae Young at the 1, and all of a sudden you have a great 1-2 combo there. I still think that they should get a small forward, but if Trae Young is on the board at 9, you take him. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, so the Knicks are an option here in our reaction poll. Best fit for Trae Young. There's New York. You got the Magic, 76ers, and Cavaliers as your options. Be sure to hit us up in the reaction poll on Facebook Live, as well as YouTube comments. We do love you YouTubers out there.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to the Crying Jordan rumor meter here in case you guys are watching the program for the first time. Basically, our scale of believability with all of these rumors that come out. So 0 heads, it's fake news. Do not believe in it. The finger wag, if you will. 1, Crying Jordan, small shred of truth. 2 of them, people are talking, rumor category. 3 of them, pretty likely. 4 of them, bang, it's happening, it's a thing. Let's get to rumor number 5. Do the Knicks want a Bridges? Doesn't matter who, just a Bridges.
One of them. Yes, they do. And this kind of goes back to my previous statement that the Knicks want a starting caliber small forward in this draft. I had Knicks fans yelling at me in the YouTube comments, we don't need a small forward. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You need someone at the 3, and you probably should get someone else at the 2 that can actually score. But look, one of the Bridges would be fantastic. Obviously, Mikal Bridges and Miles Bridges are not related, but they both have last name Bridges, and they're 2 of the top 10 players in this year's draft. Apparently, Mikal Bridges is the top target for the Knicks at number 9 overall. I don't blame them. It would be a safe pick. It would be a smart pick, good fit in New York. Miles Bridges has a larger upside, I think, than Mikal Bridges, and the Knicks seem to agree with me. If Mikal is off the board, they will take Miles. If both of them are off the board, don't be surprised if they try to trade into the draft next year. I think if Young and both Bridges are gone, I don't think the Knicks make a pick.
All right, so 3 heads there. Let's get to rumor number 6 on the list. Will the Suns trade the number 1 overall pick? Harris, I'm face palming along with you, my friend.
Just draft Luka Doncic. Is this hard? Like, I don't understand why this is so difficult. You have a clear-cut number 1 player in the draft, and everyone's like, oh, I don't want him if I'm there. We're giving this one 2 heads. This is coming from the Suns GM, Ryan McDonough, who was talking a lot about how, that we'll consider it, and that obviously you want to go through every available option, that they're going to get offers for it. Look, this is the first time in franchise history that the Suns have had the number 1 pick. First time ever.
Yep.
And they're going to trade it when they just hired Luka Doncic's Slovenian national team head coach, and they're going to trade away the number 1 pick. I think the only way—
Of course not. They're going to get DeAndre Ayton.
The only way that they're going to trade this pick is if Doncic doesn't enter the draft, and we'll get to that a little later, but that's the only way.
All right, speaking of trades, how about the Heat trying to get back into that first round, Harris?
We're going to give this one a couple heads as well. I believe that this is true. We're hearing some rumors from the Palm Beach Post. We're giving this one 2 heads that this is true. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, though it will be difficult. They don't have a first-round pick this year. Their 2018 first is owned by the Suns, the 16th overall pick. They could trade a 2019 first again to this year's first round, but I think it's more likely they move a current player. Maybe they move Hassan Whiteside. Maybe they try to move Kelly Olynyk. Maybe they just move another one of the disastrous contracts that they have on the books because Pat Riley lost his damn mind the past 2 years. But I think that the Heat are going to try to get up. They got to get young players on cheap contracts. I don't think they end up in a lottery slot, but I think they could trade up into one of the 20s.
All right, let's get to rumor number 8 on the list. Kevin Huerter, perhaps a shoe-in first rounder. I don't want him to go. I want him to come back to Maryland, but we're giving it 2 heads.
He had an outstanding NBA combine. And when I say outstanding, I'm going to even put this out there that he had the best NBA combine of any player that desperately needed it. He has gone from a late second-round pick to a quote-unquote guaranteed first-round pick, which is astonishing to me. Apparently, GMs and scouts were sitting in the gym, and this dude was just raining threes. This is an example of a player who 5 to 6 years ago would have been a nobody in the NBA draft.
Yep.
But after we've seen the success, regardless of his injuries, of a player like a Chandler Parsons or a Robert Covington, just the NBA wants guys who can hit threes and play a little defense. He can do it, and he had a great combine to boot.
All right, played pretty well in scrimmages as well. Let's get to rumor number 9 on the list. The Grizzlies trading the number 4 pick.
Oh, poor Grizzlies.
As we stand right now, Brian Ralph has Memphis taking Jaren Jackson.
Haha. So, Cam, we're going to play a little bit of a game here, okay? We're going to play a game. You have a top 5 pick in the NBA draft, right? Take that player and slot them in the Cavs-Warriors NBA Finals from last year and ask yourselves, how many minutes is this player going to play? If the answer is less than 5, don't take that player. If you're the Grizzlies and you have the number 4 pick, we're giving this one 2 heads, by the way, I would absolutely trade this pick because you know that Bagley and Ayton are going to go 2 and 3. So at 4, you have a pick of, Porter Jr., Mo Bamba, Jaren Jackson Jr., maybe Trae Young. I think the Grizzlies do end up trading this pick. It was such a disappointment for them not to end up in the top 3 to get one of those guys. They're not going to get an elite level prospect this year. I think do you know what we might see? Maybe if the Suns do trade back, maybe we see the Grizzlies and Suns do what the Celtics and 76ers did last year, swap picks, and the Grizzlies give them a future first. Though they don't really have a first to give up because 2019, 2020, 2021 with various protections is owned by the Celtics. So it would be an interesting trade to see. Maybe they finally move Mike Conley or Marcus Gasol. I don't know.
Stay tuned. Let's get to rumor number 10. Deva may be returning to school. He's got 8 days to decide, Harris.
Yeah, we're going to give this one 2 heads as well because he isn't really sure yet, and neither are we. He says that he's only going to leave Nova if he gets a first-round promise. Now, this has become pretty common in the NBA the past couple of years where players will go back to school if they don't get a quote-unquote first-round promise. I think this was also one of the reasons why Mikal Bridges went back to school. I'm not reporting that. That is just kind of a theory. Maybe he just went back because he loved Michigan State. I believe that he didn't get a team in the top 10 promised to take him, and I think he just went back to school, and now he's definitely a top 10 pick. But look, with DiVincenzo, he was fantastic in the title game. I think his stock is as high as it's ever going to be. I still think he's going to be a late first, early second round pick, and I think if he comes out next year, it's just going to hurt his draft stock more. Look what happened to Grayson Allen. We don't even know if he's going to get drafted in the first round this year, let alone in the second round. We have no idea. I think this is the right time for DiVincenzo to come out.
All right, let's go to number 11 on the list. Doncic to perhaps fall out of the top 3. Harris, here's the logic. Ayton goes number 1, and then the Kings and Hawks pass on Doncic in favor of big men. That would be the play.
Does DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Jaren Jackson Jr., or Mo Bamba get any minutes, any at all, against the Golden State Warriors in today's NBA?
No.
The answer is no. And if the answer is no, and you pass up on Luka Doncic, who, mind you, against the Warriors would get 18 to 20 minutes a night and be able to put up double-digit points with a decent amount of assists as well, I'm sorry. This report to me is the exact kind of stupidity, which is why the Hawks and the Kings and so many other franchises around the NBA have struggled to accommodate to the 2018 NBA just style. You need shooters. You need people who can hit threes. You don't need post big men who just only score off the glass. Those guys don't work. We have the best guy of that in the NBA right now is Rudy Gobert, okay? Rudy Gobert has been abused by the Warriors the past 2 years in the playoffs and 4 years in the regular season in general. That's the best you can do as a defensive big who only scores on the glass. That's the best you can do, and the Warriors annihilated him. So now you're going to pass on the one guy who could actually play minutes against the Warriors for big men?
Yeah.
I don't care how good DeAndre Ayton is. I'm sorry. He was born 10 years too late. I can't believe that this is even a possibility. If Luka Doncic falls to the Kings at 2, and they look him dead in the eye with drafting De'Aaron Fox last year, and they can give him a 2 guard for the next decade, and they say no, they deserve all the problems that come to them.
All right, so one head on that one.
Ridiculous.
Let's get to the final rumor here corresponding to the NBA draft. Doncic, perhaps, the decision could come pretty soon.
Yeah, he hasn't officially decided if he's coming to the NBA draft yet, and I don't blame him. He just finished up his European basketball season like 2 days ago, yesterday.
It's early.
He won the MVP. Real Madrid won the title, behind him. He won the Final Four MVP as well. He's 19 years old, and he's winning all of these international awards and championships, and people are still saying, well, the EuroLeague isn't as tough as the NBA. No, it's not, but he's doing things unlike anything we've ever seen anyone at his age be able to do in a European basketball league. This isn't like Lithuania or something. This isn't just a random league. This is the European basketball league. This is EuroLeague, and at 19 years old, he's winning MVP. That's incredible. Kristaps Porzingis never came anywhere near what the numbers that Luka Doncic has been able to put up. So I think he should come to the NBA, but we'll see.